Well, sorry about the wonky camera angle. This is the best I can do in the spot that I've got. So this is my workspace when I'm making jewelry. And this mirror from a thrift store is just for light. The only person who likes looking at my face is my partner. So it's nice to have something in front of the open space into my kitchen. So I'll just take apart an amber necklace that belonged to my mother and start playing with those beads. I started making jewelry rather spontaneously in December 2017. I still sometimes say 2017 or whatever, because that was my habit for a very, very long time. But, well, 20 years into this, I'm tired of saying that all the time. 2000 and fill in the blank. So I'm just getting out of the habit of it. My mother collected a fair bit of amber, and this is some of the more small and sort of average looking pieces of hers. She had some from the 60s that were huge, some massive beads, and I do not have those with me. They are in storage far, far away. And basically I just start playing with whatever I can get my hands on, especially if I can take something apart. Some of my favorite pieces of what I've done have been like 3, since I number my work. 3 is a good one because I'm shade treader on Etsy as well. I just numbered everything as if they were untitled paintings or something, and just go from there. And 3 was constructed at first very clumsily, and I actually took it apart and remade it early on before I started putting anything on Etsy, well, any jewelry. And just remade it. And it was more like what I really wanted, because I've had that problem as a creative. I've had a lot of problems realizing what's in my head, making it happen, and not just leaving my ideas stuck in my brain. And I still have, I got a box of random hematite beads that I then sorted, as quite a few of them had, a uniform size and shape, but there were still quite a few that didn't seem to fit. There weren't enough of any one size and shape to really merit using one of these in my filing system. And these strays, as it were, ended up in this antique dish. And it doesn't have any of the indentations of a classic ashtray, but it's silver plate and glass. And it's really very pretty when it's cleaned up, and it's been a while since I last polished it. Sometimes I just pick through this for a while and see what I can find that might be fun to use for making. I always make a necklace and a pair of earrings, and that go together but don't have to, because there's a certain modular aspect to what I do. I've only divided a set once, and that was at the first Gender Unbound art festival that I was in. And one person, it was a set that was using a lot of hematite, and someone came along and said they loved the earrings, but they don't really wear necklaces. And then someone else came along shortly thereafter and said that they loved the necklace, but the earrings would be too heavy for them because of all the hematite. And I thought, well, you're in luck. If I can get a hold of this other person who wants the earrings, then actually what I did was I went ahead and sold them the necklace and found the person who wanted the earrings, and I'm actually still connected to them on Instagram. Now, they moved to Boston after a while, but very cool. We got in touch, and they really liked my work. It's funny, I don't remember the person who bought the necklace now, because it's sort of out of sight, out of mind. I apologize if you wind up watching this. I'm sorry for not. It's hard to remember people at a festival, because you talk, even I talk to too many people to be able to do that. So, and I'm like the least popular table at any event that I am taking part in, I assure you. Let's straighten this a little bit more. Some of these eye pins are pretty bent. That's how they get to me. And then I just straighten them out, because somebody needs to be straight, I suppose. Is it going to be me or my partner? But oh well. Oh, and there he is now on Signal. But that's a start. Just playing around with a few ideas. It's It's been a while since I messed with amber and hematite. But this is just really just an experiment. I mean, not just what I'm doing here, but what I'm doing here. Because I started asking around to see what people who like my work would be interested in seeing. And I know, because I don't have a nice camera, I don't have a nice camera, I don't have a nice microphone, I don't have nice lighting or anything fancy. It's a little more difficult to convey some of what I'm doing. And it's distracting, too. It is. I mean, I like the videos where people are making things where they just quietly build something. And you just watch that because it's well shot. And sometimes even sped up. Hopefully not with cheesy music. And I'm somehow no more or less pallid and frumpy than I was back in March when I lost my job to COVID. Hopefully, depending on how this, partly on how this goes over, hopefully I won't lose my apartment. But that is going to depend to a significant degree on how receptive people are to my creative work. So, yeah. Which has not been my strong point. Not necessarily creative work per se, but getting people to pay me for my work. That is the tricky part. And apparently, so is finding eye pins and seed beads that want to play nicely together. I've had this problem not with black seed beads, but with clear ones and other colors, like these sort of citrine ones, that however they're made, the hole is slightly smaller than a lot of black seed beads for some reason, just in my experience. So I wind up getting them stuck on head pins, or even worse. I've found. And these very bendy ones are probably not the best for this. But I just like to try to get another one of those, or something close to it. But this is not cooperating. This will probably work. or not. So I suppose today, at least, jewelry making is going to work as well as anything else does in my life. And by that I mean not really at all. I have to try to pull this off. It's stuck. So wow, I got a whole 4 centimeters of work accomplished in 15 minutes. It's faster than I paint, so there's that. That is definitely faster than I work when I'm painting, which is pretty ridiculous. And I suppose I should give a proper tour at some point of this little workspace, so that I don't even have to be on screen at all. That's probably better. So